black man with a white t-shirt.
He's got a red cardinal hat, white t-shirt, yellow
August
socks,
2014, race would once again be thrust into the national spotlight. A young black man, Michael Brown, was shot by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri.
They just killed this nigga. His blood everywhere.
They just killed this nigga for no reason.
There's several more units over here. There's going to be a problem. We're going to need crowd control here.
He ain't armed. He don't got no gun. They just killed this nigga.
You could feel it in the air, how palatable the anger and the pain was, how a line had been crossed.
What do we want? Justice! Where we want? Now! What do we want? Justice! Where we want? Now!
All these things that had been culminating, that had been kind of slowly building up over the course of Obama's presidency, it seemed like they all converged in Ferguson, Missouri.
You're violating the state-imposed curfew.
In the streets, anger. And for many, a feeling that things had not changed enough under the first black president. By nightfall, violence.
We are now seeing officers in full riot gear, looking through sniper scopes and in these large MRAP vehicles, these militarized vehicles.
Night after night, the streets of Ferguson were a war zone.
And, this had become kind of an American crucible within the span of 5 days.
On the day of the shooting, the president had headed out of town on vacation.
It's kind of a perfect storm of racial calamity. There's a great deal of pressure, and people are feeling like the president should come off vacation and, respond to this.
The president knew many black Americans expected him to do something.
President Obama is so handcuffed. no matter what he says, no matter what he does. You have a president who, as the chief spokesperson for the American government, is obligated by the nature of his position to defend the police officers, to defend the state, to argue for the protection of property. But to black Americans who thought they had their black president who would understand them, who would get them, it's just deeply lacking.
On vacation, he met with Attorney General Eric Holder to figure out how to respond.
It was such a treacherous area for him to navigate, and I think it took him a while to sort of find his voice and figure out how he wanted to approach it in a way that he was comfortable with and that didn't cause him, maximum political damage.
Finally, after 5 days, he went before the press.
There is never an excuse for violence against police or for those who would use this tragedy as a cover for vandalism or looting.
It pulled him back into some of the same problems that he's had throughout, which is how can he talk about race in America as a black president without alienating the institutions that he needs on his side to function?
He chose the cautious route.
So now's the time for healing. Now's the time for peace and calm on the streets of Ferguson.
When Ferguson blew, it blew up as well and exploded. His inability to grapple straightforwardly with the issue of race. As brilliant as he had been with Trayvon Martin, he was contorted and tragically twisted when it came to Ferguson.
Thanks very much, everybody.
The president would keep his distance. For months, the controversy simmered as a grand jury weighed whether to indict the police officer, Darren Wilson. As the announcement approached, authorities urged calm.
Everybody want me to be calm. Do you know how them bullets hit my son? What they did to his body as they hit his body?
When Officer Wilson was not charged, the anger exploded again.
A grand jury finding not enough evidence to charge the officer who shot and killed Michael Brown. The situation gets
within hours of the decision, protesters set squad cars on fire, burned and looted stores and
police say the violence is worse than anything they saw back in August, just after Brown's death.
It's been 9 hours since the decision not to charge a Ferguson police officer with the killing of an unarmed teenager. There is still no calm on the streets.
The president tried to avoid taking sides.
To those in Ferguson, there are ways of channeling your concerns constructively, and there are ways of channeling your concerns destructively.
The split screen was the line that showed his disconnect with America. On one side of the screen, you're seeing the nation's black president begging that a city to not go up in flames. And the other side of the screen, you're seeing young black people saying, we're done waiting. We're not putting up with this anymore.
Protesters were back out on the streets today in Ferguson, and just a short time
As
ago,
Ferguson burned, the deep divide over race only grew.
We elect a black president, and 8 years later, we have this.
Hundreds of people marched in the Bay Area today to protest.
The Black Lives Matter movement
in Cleveland, demonstrators took to the streets to
And I can tell you how many times I've heard from activists in Cleveland, in Baltimore, in Ferguson. I voted for Barack Obama twice. I canvassed for Barack Obama. And Trayvon Martin is still dead. And Jordan Davis is still dead. And Oscar Grant is still dead. And Sandra Bland is still dead.
A Black Lives Matter protest shut down traffic in Frederick, Maryland.
And the backlash.
Hey, Black Lives Matter is just a complete fraud.
Exposing two very different Americas.
Are you going to riot, loot, roast more pigs? What?
Absolutely unbelievable. All lives matter.
There was no post-racial utopia for us to enter into. It only laid bare the undercurrents of racism that still existed.
See, to me, dividing lives that matter by color sounds downright racist. No.